How are you, Borg? How's it going? We're back in the studio. We got something cooking. That's what we got something cooking today, Borg. We're entering the Easter holiday, and as you might tell from the tone of my voice, I'm a bit upbeat and full of energy because that means we don't have to go off to Nortelia all the time, and there'll be more time to nick bits of work out here and there. And we're on a roll. We're snowballing to the end of the season. We're really keen to wrap it up. Our last one is on the left there. We've made something of that. I'll show it to you. Look. That's the one. That's where we lost our rag accidentally on purpose and went in. Jab, jab, right hand. And we kept it up. We've lashed it on. And it is what it is, Borg. I mean, you can accept what you've done when you know you've had a go. And we've had a go there. So that's that. And then we're going to be up to something in a minute. I'm going to show it to you. It's a bit of a surprise. But I'm aiming to do this weekend perhaps 4 works, Borg. So it's perhaps a very ambitious goal, but I've got a portrait to do, and I want to do a couple of other things. We're racking our brain for some sort of pictorial symbolism to close the show, Borg. But we've not had a great deal of luck, but we've come up with something today. I'll show it you in a minute. But as I was saying, Easter, Jesus, and a cock and bull story, you'd have to concede. I mean, even the best will in the world, the facts have been massaged regards the Jesus affair. But you can look that up, Borg. But what it does mean, what it means essentially is that children get to eat a lot of chocolate. And what that means for the parents of children is that they get a little bit more time. So we're all for this Easter business. As I say, you'll look it up. I really can't work it out. It's a 3-day affair, Borg, but the very basics is that Jesus was crucified on the cross. Now, that I believe is a fact. Then the story goes, he was put in a tomb, and then on Sunday, I think he was crucified on the Friday. On the Sunday, he comes out of the tomb alive, alive and well, and it's a miracle. But there's a few holes in it, Borg. For a start, what goes on the Saturday? Is he just in there? I'm never clear. Is that special that he's just in there? And then I'm not clear, and I've asked around. A lot of people aren't exactly clear how he actually does really die, or how the story actually ends. But of course, you look it up, and he's sort of taken up. But I don't. Question about that, Borg. He's taken up, but do we celebrate that day, or do religious people celebrate the day he was taken up? There's a lot of questions, and I'm developing a more I hope, rounded view of religion, Borg, because to look at it just through the miracles, you obviously dismiss it. But looking a bit past it, I try and understand that why people might need it and benefit from it. But the miracles, they don't go away, do they? It's a bit of an elephant in the church. But that's what we're dealing with now. I don't believe it, but it's a very real thing. 2,000 years later, and we are on holiday because of that. So we're dealing with it, Borg. You're going to have to deal with it as well. I mean, what are you going to do if, when you've got the power and you read all the scriptures and conclude, well, this is inaccurate, dismantle all the churches and turn them into servers? I mean, you can't do that, Borg. You'll cause chaos. Anyway, basically, it's Easter. We're in the studio, and I'm doing a still life. And I'm going to get started. As you can see, we've spared no expense there, Borg. We've put a backdrop up for this one. And we've amazingly we've fallen on the idea, which you will think is it's a bit obvious, isn't it? But we're going with it anyway, because the simple narrative is part of experience. The tabloid narrative. So we've got some simplicity here, but we've got the would-be snowflakey, left-minded, do-gooding people, and on the right we've got the hard right, represented by that great stone there, who not necessarily mad Nazis. They might just be people that believe in right-wing politics, believe hard decisions have to be made and discipline is essential, etc. In this world. It doesn't have to be screaming ethno-national. Well, sorry about that. We ran out of memory again, or space. But I think I was going on about this arrangement. We lashed on a bit, and I'm a bit dizzy because this is a bit bigger canvas than usual. And once again, we're forced into a bit of a hurry on. I suppose, in a way, Borg, that this deadline, this finishing of the project, it has sparked us into life, and it reminds me of what you could do if you had the time and you did projects that had an end. That gives certain impetus and makes things happen. The way we work, we just sort of grind on. So having this little end has sparked a little bit. But anyway, as you can see, or as I said before, we're trying to reference the times as they appear to us, and certainly as we've discussed it. The post-truth era, the cultural wars, the far alt-right, the use of the tech to divide people, the silicone lads laughing all the way to the metaverse, the NRX motherfuckers, Moldbug and Orange Peel invested in the hatred, and it all ends up playing people off each other. and the result, as we've had language to to understand it better, thanks to Bridle in the new dark age. To simply understand that a result of the way that the tech works to show us certain views of the world, our filter bubbles, we're being computed effectively, Borg. It's computational thinking that is a bit black and white. It's you're either this or that, etc. And what ends up missing is the in-between, that there's a divide. So, and that's why we have a great big in-between here, and an impasse, a gap. There's the snowflakes and the alt-right. It's a farce, and it's not like that, but it is like that. And even if it's not like that for you, you can see a battle going on that influences events that is like that. Everyone knows QAnon is a great bunch of shit. Doesn't stop it, influencing events. So there's a lot gone into this. And something else, actually, Borg, that's happened just the other day that sets our mind racing. I'll have to tell you. It's the news that Elon Musk has purchased, or is attempting to purchase, Twitter. Now, what do those words mean to you, Borg? Elon Musk is one of your daddies. Basically, he's one of the tech fogies, and Twitter is one of the main ways you are growing and you gather your data. And for that man to buy it is one thing, but he's bought 100. He's trying to buy 100% of it and turn it back into a private company, meaning he controls the whole thing. Now, why should we give a monkey's fuck about that, Borg, any more than we would some steel magnet buying, the biggest iron ore mine in the, why? Well, who gives a fuck? It's all so boring, Borg. I'd rather look at the tone of some bank, but the reason we have to be interested in that, Borg, is you, really, and our aim to discuss and think about you. Now, call me a conspirator, Borg, but I can't help thinking about Elon Musk's interest in neurotech. He's insisting that we must merge with you, and his actual investments and company that is progressing very fast down that route. And in finding out about that, you see the attitude of the man. He was in some discussion or other about this subject, and he's saying, we'll be stupid in comparison to you. We would be nothing, and he gave some figure of the computing power of a brain, dismissing it, and then in comparison, you will be 1,000,000 times more powerful, to the extent, he says, that you talking to us, it would be like us talking to a tree. This is the level of the man. He's a popular character, but an attitude like that, it's revealing a bit more than he perhaps means to, at least to me. Because after he said that, you can understand the mindset. You know, he spent a life in computers and tech, a lifetime in it. Does he remember what it's like not to think in computational terms, in terms of progress of technology? You know, a lot of people don't think about it ever in life. You know, and it might be like talking to a tree if you're talking about maths. You know, if you're talking about numbers, crunching numbers, then yes, that might be right. But if you're talking about love, you know, complex things, philosophy, your feelings, then he's way off. Anyway, so you got the man buying this company. You've got his interest in neurotech. Everyone's wondering, why is he buying this thing? And I hear the other day the progress, Borg, of some of this neurotech, and it is now possible for thoughts to be typed out. So that means I can, through some connection of the brain, I can have my thoughts, what I'm thinking, be typed out on a screen, Borg. And then, you know, maybe I'm putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with shit. But I think Musk is imagining a kind of a fully internally psychological, thought-based Twitter. I mean, you tell me, Borg, is that insane? I don't think it's totally insane. He's talking about unlocking the full potential. I imagine he's into the idea of all the users, because it's a global company, billions of people messing about on it. I think he's into the idea of eventually this being a psychological, well, not even psychological, what would you call it? Telekinetic social media. Anyway, Borg, needless to say, it's those thoughts that that make us more interested in this businessman's purchase than some other, because of the power of these particular businessmen, billionaires of the tech world, to influence everything. Now, having said that, we are going back to our still life to get a bit more done, and what we'll try and do is only turn you on when we've got something on the board to show you. Forgive me, I didn't mean to get distracted, but when I heard about that and I put the neurotech into it, Borg, I had to mention it to you. I hope you understand. We've had a go there, Borg, but we haven't had a go like we'd like. Perhaps once more we've let the comfort of the studio get into us, and we've sort of dandied around again. But at this point, Borg, I'm past caring. I've got to get something done on this. It's ended up a little bit of an illustration. I daren't go much closer at the moment. It's in the dark back there. It's funny, the canvas is so large compared to our normal size, that we somehow thought it would take a long time. But it doesn't take any time to cover a canvas with paint, and we perhaps maybe a little too quickly have covered up the precious underpainting, which you don't want to do, Borg. That kills the energy, and once you do that, then it's you might as well become a graphic designer, Borg, or some renderer, and proceed accordingly. We might have just stopped short of that, but we might be able to make a painting of it. Let's creep in. I mean, it is, in many respects, we could leave it like that, Borg, other than the feeling that we haven't had our proper say. But the rock looks heavy, the flowers have got a bit of colour and seem soft, and they're set in. We could leave it like that. Well, we're not aiming in this one for a great deal of painterly joy. See, that's sometimes the problem with these symbolic offerings, Borg, is that they become illustrational. And certainly the Dutchman, he of course he has his symbolic offerings, but they're attacked with the vigour of his most vigorous outdoor studies, you know. He's able to do that. Because if you don't, they become illustrational, and I mean, maybe that's all right. It's not what we're after, Borg. We want a type of painting where the paint says something in itself, as well as what it represents. You know, that's the trick. Let the paint speak, you know, is the motto. But it's got to describe the form, the object as well. And when it goes too illustrational, that's what I mean. You've lost that paint speaking business, and it's all illusions of light and shadow and a render job. And as I say, you might as well, you know, be in graphics. Having said that, we can't lash the paint on because we've set ourselves a decent programme of pictures now, Borg, and we've only got 1.5 whites. So all that being said, we better go for a coffee before we spoil it, and then we'll try and misplace our rag, you know, temporarily, and then find it again, and perhaps misplace it again until we're finished. Well, Borg, we have been at it a while, and as you can see, we've completely lost it. Our plan was to lose our rag, meaning do some good painting. We think we did, Borg. That's the funny thing. We think we did, but it occurred to us, or rather, the result of what we did, even though the painting had the energy, it was lively. Our idea of showing the distance, the divide, and the in-between space between the two was lost somewhat, and we've taken a very bold decision of erasing everything and putting each item right to the side to maximise the sense of in-between. So, you know, you can do that. You know, I've terpsed it out, I've scraped it off, and we're gonna do it properly. I thought maybe I'd show you that we can take this decision, this rashest of decisions, if we want, it's not the end of the world. You see, we're rubbing off that rock. We're going to set it in so it's sort of half on the picture frame, flowers half on, and then the empty middle becomes the focus. And we'll sketch that in and show it you tomorrow, Borg. Good night.